This video is going to show you solo GM Conquest Whisper mission on a Hunter. As I promised, I'm going to do all three classes for these missions, for the Grandmaster ones at least. I've already done Warlock. This is Hunter. I'll finish on Titan and get the, get the loot. But anyways, this is a Hunter run. I'm going to do the same for Delve, which is the final Conquest mission. These are seasonal only, so the one-time completion, so remember that. Modifiers for Whisper are time bonus, fire team power boosting, no radar, limited revive, equipment locked, avant-garde, glass cannon, couple of mods, Scourge 3, Galvanized 2, champions are Overload and Unstop, Hot Step, Take an Epitaph, Screebs and Avalanche Banes. What's the short story for this? Number 1, Screebs hit very hard. Number 2, Overload and Unstoppables need to be spec for. Number 3, Glass Cannon is on the entire time when you are solo because there's no fire team, it's just you. Avant-Garde needs to be Edge of Fate, weapons and armor only. That's why I choose to do Edge of Fate builds rather than non-Edge of Fate builds. And what I mean by that is this blue icon on the side. If an exotic has a blue icon on the side, or a turquoise, whatever colour you want to call it, then it means it's Edge of Fate featured and you get massive benefits in the... Well, you get sizable, moderate benefits because of it. So, on a Hunter, you only have a couple of things you can spec for, and you need to be very careful what you start speccing for. You go down a path, and that path might be 6 hours long. And if you've chose the wrong path, you've lost... Well, you haven't lost 6 hours, but you kind of have as well. Because it's going to take you 5 to 6 hours to farm a tier 4, tier 3 armor set for each stat distribution. And what do I mean by that? I mean this here. You've got Gunner, Bulwark, Specialist, Grenadier, Paragon and Brawler. Now, you want a full set of each. Each character of Warlock, Titan and Hunter needs all of these. Once you get a full armor set of each stat distribution, you will be able to use any build at all in the game that you want. You are free. But when you first start grinding at 400 power or whatever, when you start getting tier 4 armor, you're locked to 1 or 2 builds. So you need to commit to your top 3 builds what you're going to do. So I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do. My first commitment is Specialist Armor, because Specialist Armor focuses on class stat and weapon stat, and that is perfect for Gifted Conviction. I am committing to Gifted Conviction as my first build. I've actually got a build locked in. This is my first build locked in. It's not perfect stats, but nobody will have perfect stats until tier 5 armor drops. But Hunters need the help the most. You need to listen to it carefully. That's my first build I'm locking in. The second build I will lock in is a relativism class item roll with Inmost Light Cryo with a Grenadier stat build on the stat distribution. So what I'm going to do next is farm Grenadier armor. I'm going to pop that on and do my portal activities and hopefully get tier 4, tier 3 armor with good stat distributions and then go through it. And then we're going to go to a Lucky Pants. I'm going to do a Lucky Pants build because Lucky Pants is Edge of Fate based. Hand cannons are kind of crazy at the minute. The weapon stat combined with Lucky Pants is just going to be really nasty. So that's the next build. So I'm going to lock in those 3 builds for my endgame pursuits. And then I'm going to go right down the line. This is a 4 to 6 weeks pursuit. This isn't going to be done overnight. It's going to take you time to lock in these sets. My recommendation is lock in a set, like I have done here. I've locked in a set. Then I'll switch it. I'll switch it now. So you see what I'm doing. I'm going through the categories. So then it opens up all the builds with the right stat distributions. So the reason why you want a weapon stat is because when you're playing solo, if you rock anything less than tier 100 weapon stat, you feel it with your weapons. When I've been speedrunning portal activities, I felt it. When I first stepped on my Hunter, I only had tier 4 weapon stat, and that compared to this is night and day difference. It's like, man, I am feeling that weapon damage loss. You're losing so much damage, so you need, when you're playing solo, you want a weapon stat over tier 100 minimum requirement. You need to have that within your setup. For Gifted Conviction builds, you want definitely way over 100 stat. as much as you can in actual fact, because the more you go over 100, the more overshield you get. The ability cooldown is exactly the same from tier 100 to 170 to 180, whatever. The only benefit is overshield, but the overshield is so damn powerful, I recommend that you go for this. Hunter mains need the most help in this game. They are the weakest class, and as far as I see it, they still are the weakest class. So you need the most help, and I know there's grapple melee builds, but that's just something weird. Yeah, that's just a weird thing. That doesn't mean they're the most powerful class. That just means there's something broke. That's all that means. Whereas the Titan and the Warlock are far more consistent. But you need, Hunter mains need as most help as they can get. I've been speedrunning content in the portal with this build. So I'm standing by this build for now until I start getting other armor sets for different builds, such as with the class item. So that's why we rock the class and the weapon stat, yeah? And then you want a minimum requirement of tier 7 health or tier 6. Tier 6 to tier 7 is the sweet spot. I've actually got too much health, you don't need that much health. You'll be surprised, you don't need that much health. I'm 40 power under and I didn't need it. So that's builds explained. Now weapon wise, I'm going to go on the subclass in a minute. So I'm not even using an exotic here. The reason being is because this is an exotic. Let's just take 5 seconds to appreciate this stat roll. Best stat roll you can get, best perk roll you can get on this weapon. Not the stats, I'm on about the traits. Hail Clip, Burning Ambition. Burning Ambition is crazy in this game right now. It's one of the best traits in the game. Make sure you get it. It's tier 5 weapon drop. Hail Clip, Burning Ambition. Unbelievable weapon. Yeah, I'm not even using an exotic. I don't need one. Retrograde, best special weapon in the game. And I'm using Aurora Dawn because I want to get more special weapon ammo for Retrograde. And there's a strap to this. And you'll see it in the run. You can play very aggressive. Like I say, because of Gifted Conviction, adds that damage resist, etc. Here's the armor mods. I'll give you a dim link. Like I say, I'm not going to go too much into it. Let's just go into this though. I'm using Silk Strike because I want a Roman Super with damage resist. I didn't want Tether. I haven't tried Storm's Edge yet. Silence and Squall seems fairly weak in the game for some reason. Doesn't seem to be doing much. Golden Gun, well, I'm not on a Golden Gun build, so I went with Silk Strike. That's the reasoning. Marksman's Dodge is a lower cooldown for Ascension, so we go with that. Freddied Spike. Freddied Spike will sever the target, therefore they deal less damage to you. This is important. Put that on. I'm using Dustfield Grenade because I just like Dustfield Grenade for the slower aspect. Freddied Spectre for Clone and Ascension. We are not using any Invis in this build at all. You don't need it. Invisibility is not needed for this build. I repeat it, hunters. It's not needed. It isn't. Facet of Ruin does an incredible amount of things. And it gives plus 10 weapon stat. Do you see that? Man, I have only just noticed now. So, Facet of Ruin buffs your Transcendence Nade. It buffs Duskfield. Yeah? Yeah, it does. It buffs Duskfield. And it buffs Burning Ambition. Because it's ignitions. So do you see how much Facet of Ruin is so important to prismatic builds now? If you've got stasis or solar ignitions, it's incredible. You need to put it on. I don't want to smell. I don't even want to smell that you've got the wrong mod on. This needs to go on. Don't say it doesn't. The only time you don't put it on is if you haven't got solar or stasis in the kit. Facet of Protection is damage resist. You need it. Facet of Hope is for the Ascension build. You get more Ascensions. Facet of Dawn has actually gotten a buff now. With the Radiant, you get an increased timer now as opposed to what it was last season. And I've got Facet of Balance on. I quite like it, but I could have put Facet of Purpose on instead. Let's see. Where is it? I probably should have had Facet of Purpose on, but I do lose class ability stat. But next time I'll put that on. That's the build and everything. On with the run. Oh. And artifact mods. So artifact mods, Radiant Shrapnel needs to go on for the auto. Shield Crush goes on. Elemental Daze is broken now. Make sure you use it. Frost Renewal, one with Frost, because we are going to get this with some of my weapons. I've got Fever and Chill on. Discount for Scavs. Refresh Threads for Tangles. And that's literally all the important information about this. Okay, so on with the run. One quick PSA about Conquest. Make sure you get an A grade rank in these missions to make sure that you increase your chances of good loot, because you can only do it seasonal, it's not weekly, which is a huge disappointment. Bungie needs to revert this as soon as possible before we start losing GM players for good, because they've already quit. With this information of Conquest only being seasonal, we will only lose more GM players as a result. Conquest missions should be farmable, or at the very least weekly on each, once per time per character. That Bungie should meet us halfway on this. This needs addressed as soon as they can. If they don't, I fear that we're going to lose a lot of good players in the game. They won't lose me, but they're going to lose some other players because people aren't going to put up with it. Or they're just going to take mini breaks. So let's hope that they change this. They have to. I'm skipping the footage. I'm fast forwarding it. ×2, ×4. Because it's just a jump puzzle. Just follow the route on screen. The sword helps. Ascension helps as well because it's like a fourth jump. Yeah, it's like having Bones of EO on, having Ascension on. You get 4 jumps. People never say that, but it's right. You do. I love Ascension, but I love Ascension for it's not just that. That's just an icing on the top, on the cake. There's a lot more to it than just that. Yeah, this is why we went with Gifted Conviction as my first build that I'm dialing in or locking in for Edge of Fate, because it's damn OP, and you've got to make a decision. Alright, so footage goes to normal speed now, because now we get the actual run to start. First thing you want to do in this section is take down the 2 snipers with your pulse. Take them down left and right. That is the number 1 goal. Then after that, you've got an overload to your left and right. It's up to you how you do it. I'm going to go right first. Remember, Ascension stuns overloads, so that's what we're going to do. So that's what we're going to do right here. We're going to get a Dustfield Dam as well, which also does stun overloads, but it's nice to add that freeze. And I'm going to go in with the sword. Look at that, I'm recuperating special ammo. Do you see those 3? I got 3 shots there by just doing light swings, and you want to focus on just doing light swings with this roll, with this Aurora Dawn roll, Sharp Harvest, Cold Steel. It's the best roll for this sword. Whether you've got tier 5 or not, I mean, if you have, fantastic, but if you haven't, don't worry. As long as you've got that roll I've mentioned, it's the best roll, because you can strategize ammo with it. It's unbelievable how good it is. Right, now I'll stun the overload up top here. Now Elemental Daze is bugged right now. It's doing bug damage. Take advantage of it. It's not just one archetype of weapon that's doing bug damage. It's all of them. Any elemental weapon at all with Elemental Daze will do exceedingly more damage to champs. That's only energy weapons. Well, Strand, Stasis, Void, Arc, Solar, kinetic weapons don't do it in the same fashion. Understand it? Alright, now I'm going to take some of these adds as Screebs. 2 Screebers, which is actually dangerous. I could die off that, so I have to be careful. I get a Freighted Spike in for damage resist. Then if I get weak, boom, look at the Overshield. And look at that chain of Overshield there. Did you see that? My class ability Overshield chained with Procs Ward Overshield. I didn't know that. That's a little piece of information there for you. That actually increased the Overshield there for a brief moment. Now I'm just going to take out the rest of the adds. Heel Clip is doing clutch things for me right now. I would have popped Super, but I didn't have it at the right time. Probably because I've got a low Super stat. I didn't get it at the time, but that's fine. I mean, I've cleared the room, fair enough. With Ascension, Sword, you know, doing my ad clear, etc. And the auto just putting in fantastic work. So yeah, we'll just clear it. You've got to clear the ads to get to the next room. You must do that. Okay, so that's that first room clear. We've got 2 unstops in this room here. I'm going to use a Transcendence because it's a good time to use it. You get a lot of Transcendences with this build. You get lots. So I'm going to go to the right hand side here. Get a Dustfield down. Remember, Dustfields do not stun unstops. Part of my build, or the way I stun unstops, is basically with the auto. The auto rifle will stun unstops. So will the ignition from the Transcendent Nade, technically, because it does solar, doesn't it? So that will as well. But don't worry about it. The auto does, it stuns overloads and unstops very well. Fantastically well, in fact. But just take note of my health. Barely getting weak against these 2 unstops. I'm 40 power under. I've got combat fatigue on, glass cannons on, and I'm doing really well. This build, as I say, it's doing fantastic. Okay, unstop is finishable. Get rid of him. Ammo check. I'm low on heavy, or now I'm half heavy and full special, so I'm doing good. I've got a super to burn. Let's get that super out and get it used. I'll get rid of this solar knight. And the goal is to work your way around the map and get the snipers. Get rid of the solar knight. Do it in this order. Do it in this order. Dustfield goes down. Super goes in. Remember, Gifted Conviction on Silk Strike is spammable in your super. As in, it does not consume class ability energy, and that is intended. It must be, because that was like that. That was like that last season, and it's like that now. So that's intended. That's good. You understand it? Ascension spam whilst in your super is very good because you can jolt and add damage to Silk Strike. Look, Elemental Days. Elemental Days as well is very nice with Burning Ambition because it's single target damage. And when you are solo, having a single target damage perk in your kit will sizably increase your solo run speed time of any runs, of anything, so much. That's why all these, for months and months, I've loved Jolt and Feedback. Yeah? And it's the same reason I'm going to love Burning Ambition, for the same reasons. Because it's a solar version of Jolt and Feedback. Burning Ambition with Radiant Shrapnel is meta. You need to be using it. Yeah? Burning Ambition rolls. Check all the weapons. All the weapons. How many weapons? I don't know. I haven't checked it. I'm telling you to check it. Go light.gg. Check what weapons have Burning Ambition. Check all the rolls. I know that the rocket sidearm has it as well, I believe. Yeah, it does. So I reckon the solar rocket sidearm should be very good. So we'll stun this unstop here. As you can see, we can keep getting consistent stuns on this unstop. And we're just going to keep doing that. Also notice the amount of super regen that we're receiving off this. I mean, I'm rocking a low super stat. Imagine a 200 stat super build with this. Because of the auto rifle, fast fire rate, it gives you a lot of super intellect back base. But that will be stackable with super stat, regen, and etc. Alright, I'm going to pop a Transcendency. 2 unstops spawn behind your back. So let's get rid of them. Overshield, look at the overshield, goes right in. This will add survivability. I mean, how long has it been hunters have been complaining? I mean, it's not expert hunters are complaining. It's your casual hunters that are complaining about PVE survivability for hunters, especially solo. Well, here's your answer. It's right there for you. Your 2 builds are Gifted Conviction and Inmost Light Cloak with Cryo. Those are going to be your most adaptable builds solo for more casual hunters. I feel as though a lot of hunters on the casual end try to go too fancy and end up messing their builds up. Try to not go too fancy. Damage resist, damage resist, damage resist. Oh, and another damage resist. That's what you need to be concerned with, man, on hunters. Solo, we're talking all solo. I mean, fire team, it's different. See, what you need to understand is, when you're solo, when you're in a fire team, the lack of power of hunter isn't noticeable when you're in a fire team because you're protected by your titans and your warlocks in a fire team, so you don't really notice it. But when you're solo, you start to notice it. Hang on a sec, this isn't that good, that isn't that good. Hunters are a very specialist class. You really need the build to be dialed in. If you don't, the solo is no good. I mean, this build is fantastic for solo. It's fantastic, it does everything I want it to. Yeah, but that's only because I've had to build into one unique build for Hunter. And it's locked to a few builds. Yeah, so don't be too fancy, hunters. You need to dial in and go back to basics. Get back to basics of what is good. Instead of trying to be too fancy. Far too fancy. Yeah, you don't see hunters complaining at Titans. They'll go bulk charge Titan or strand Titan and they're happy, and you put them in the corner and they'll play with that toy for 6 hours. Hunters get too bored. I don't know, it's a personality trait, man. Stop getting too bored. You need to farm power up. You got a job to do. So do it. That's what you got to do. Help you. When you're LFG in Pinnacles, make sure you go on a good build. I've played with so many hunters recently, and I don't know what they're doing, man. Some bad hunters out there. Let's get them hunters knowledgeable a bit. You need to get dialed in on those stat distributions, and then you will start to see a difference in your gameplay. I mean, this gameplay is fantastic. For Hunter, Gifted Conviction with the damage resist and overshield is very good. Spam your abilities, because you're going to get it back with the banner. You can put a banner in. Now, I'm going to do one boss at a time, if I can. So, we're going to get a Transcendence. Watch this. We face plant this boss. This is why it's so good. I like face plant builds. What does a face plant build means? It means a build where you can do sustained damage to a boss and out damage resist adds that are around that boss. Because the game is gone that way, hasn't it? The game has upped ad density for the last 2 years. So that's where the game goes. So that's what you've got to build for. Damage resist, face plant builds. That's what this build is. Have you noticed on every class I've done the same thing? Let's break it down. I know gameplay's going on, but let's break it down. Titan, I went with, for the entire leveling process, I was on Bolt Charge Titan because it's a face plant build. You can get right on top of a boss and not die. I've done the same with Warlock. I went on Unoia, and it's your constant overshields and constantly being able to stun lock bosses. And I've done the same thing on the Hunter, but in a different way by using Ascension, which is the best aspect on the Hunter Prismatic. So build for the best aspect. For example, I tried Mask of Bacchus. It's not very... I'm not going to say it's not very good, but it takes a very good stat distribution to make Mask of Bacchus work. I tried it. It wasn't very good. But that was when I didn't have stat distributions. Maybe when I get stat distributions, it'd be a little bit better. It just didn't feel very good to use at low stats. When you are rocking a poor stat distribution, when you're leveling, and all your gear's tier 5, tier 6, it feels terrible, yeah? And there's no playback loop there. Whereas with this build right now, as long as you are over 100 stat class ability, there's a playback there, and you can start to feel tanky, and you can start to feel very, very powerful in endgame. Notice I'm talking endgame here. I'm not talking at power. I'm not talking mid-game fire-ups. I'm not talking lost sectors. I'm talking when you're 40 power under. I mean, the endgame's weird now in the game, but the only thing I can say that is endgame is if you're 40 power under, because I know I've tested the power level system. If you're 50 power under, that's where 50 to 40, that's where endgame starts. If you're 30 power under, the game feels very easy. There's a very steep power leveling curve with the game. I've tested it. I've done all the tests. Don't argue it. I know it. I've tested it. And that's what I'm on about. This is what I'm talking. Everything's in context for solo and endgame, because that's exactly what I'm doing, isn't it? Look, I get weak here. Look at this. Look at what I'm tanking with Sever. I'm tanking a lot with Threaded Spike, a lot with Ascension. So damage is stacking. Nothing's changed really. For the Hunter, for me, I mean, well, it has changed, but in terms of like damage is stacking, the concept of it at least, the numbers have changed more than likely, but the concept of it hasn't. So on Hunter, right, okay, healing is less. Right, damage resist. If I'm going to get less health, damage resist, damage resist, damage resist. So if any Hunter mains are out there that are struggling at 400 powered activities, well then this is the video for you. To sort of think about it differently. Yeah? So look at what we're doing here with this Transcendence. It's a good pop, that. And then I'm going to use a super. We jolted the boss as well. Increased damage. The second boss did spawn in by accident. The box was broken. It happens. I'm not bothered about it though. It just means I can do more. Look at what we're doing here. Yeah, with Ascension. Just being able to spam and have that overshield and have that damage resist. The first boss is the most annoying, the Centurion. That's why I spawn him in first. He is the priority and he needs to be taken care of because of them blights. Auto's doing good damage as well, and the heal clip saved me a lot. Look at this, get weak. Boom. Ascension goes in. Overshield is very powerful. Even if it's just a third of an overshield, it's so strong for just being able to tank and soak damage up. Yep, another Transcendence goes in. I'm getting Transcendences, lots of them, because I mean, think about it. I've got a Strand and Stasis weapon on, and I've got Burning Ambition to give me increased amount of light energy. All of this is working fantastic. And you know something, for this run, I wouldn't change anything. I would like to have done Lucky Pants build for the run. I would have liked to do it. I haven't got the stats for it. I haven't got the stats yet. Well, saying that, I've got weapon stat build. I could have done it actually, but I haven't infused Lucky Pants. I haven't got a god roll for it or nothing. I need to go and get a god roll for Lucky Pants. I haven't got a stat distribution for it. But that's what I'm on about, you know. Minotaurs spawn up. We're just going to get a Dustfield Dam. Ascension goes in. Jolt all of them. And then just go in with Burning Ambition. What's to note as well, we keep getting Elemental Honing ×3 and ×4 on Retrograde. That is why I run Elemental Honing Retrograde, because it's very good on Prismatic builds. It's good on Arc builds as well. It's good on anything. As long as you have at least 2 or 3 different elements in your build, which is not easy to... it's easy to do. There's not a lot of investment in that. And you're going to get relatively a lot of different elements. And if you know me, I don't like to have the same element of weapons on each free weapon. I like to mix and match. So Elemental Honing suits my playstyle. It really suits my playstyle. Although Bait and Switch would have been good in this as well. In actual fact, Bait and Switch would have been good. And I have got a Bait and Switch Retrograde, but I'm using this one at the minute. Right. Take down the wizards first. Yeah? Sever the target for DR. Right, now we're going to go inside. Look at this. Look at special ammo. 1, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Do you understand how strong that is? That's exotic strength. This sword and this combination between Retrograde and Sharp Harvest is OP. This is OP. Look at this. I don't even need an exotic prime. I don't need an exotic. I could have took off the auto, but the auto's incredibly strong. That also feels exotic strength. Burning Ambition just feels too good. So I was like, damn, I don't even need an exotic in anything for the weapons. So I was like, I'll just run 3 legendaries. It's fine. Look at this. So strong that. Look, and then I'm getting special ammo back again. That's incredible. It almost is cheese worthy. That it's not a cheese, but it's worthy of that title. I'm cheesing it with sword. And now look, I've got Retrograde for the wizards. Because all I did there is put heavy ammo into my special weapon. Because that's technically what you're doing. Right, 3 bosses are killed. Now it's boss. I've got a super to burn. So I am going to use that. I'm going to sever him first. I'm going to jolt him first for added damage with Silk Strike. And then pop super. We're just going to use our Silk Strike. Always light swing, don't heavy attack. Only a heavy attack at the end of your super. But to be honest, just light swing. Light swing is the way to go with the super, and always has been. So now I'm just going to stun lock the boss with Burning Ambition. It does stun lock. And it's going to keep popping my Ascension, because I'm going to keep getting it back, keep getting Overshields, and I'm going to keep getting Transcendences. So look, I'm going to use a Transcendence here. Then I'm going to go in with Sword Armor. Look at this, look how tanky I am. He's doing nothing to him. Nothing to me. So the strat is, do special ammo rotation, then swap back to the sword, get special ammo back, then use Retrograde again. See the strat now? See how good this is for swording? This isn't off meta by any means, this is just good. And I recommend hunters should be just using this setup. But you definitely use the class item, but I haven't got the stats for it like I've been saying multiple times in this video. I think I'll stop talking about stat distributions because I've talked about it too much maybe. Screebers in middle, got to be careful. They can wipe you, but I've got double arc resist on for that to save against the Screebs. They hit hard in this. They really do. I did notice it. Adds in middle, auto rifles just tearing through things. I'll do another Ascension. Also, not to mention, you've got the clone. The ads will focus the clone as well a lot. Clone's amazing. It's the best thing hunters have had in years. I don't know why you don't use it more. Clone Tech and Ascension for me is the most interesting and unique aspect of Prismatic Hunter. It's my funnest way of playing the Hunter. I hate playing Invis. Anytime I cannot play Invis, I will take it off. If there's an activity where I really need Invis, I'll use it, and I will do. But if I can ever not use it and get away with not using it, then that's what I'll do. Okay, so this Transcends wasn't the best here because I was out of position a little bit. That's fine, and I got weakish there. The first time in the run I got quite weak. I had to play a bit more passive. But yeah, look, we can just keep spamming my abilities. I could sword the boss, retrograde him, burn him. Every single weapon I've got on's OP. I like options in a build. That's what I like, of just doing multiple things. Look at this. This is OP, this. I enjoyed this run. It was, well, actually, no, the walk run was good. Equally, I would say. Right, I'm going to keep checkpoint because I need to solo this on Titan. So I can kill boss, you can see. You can see I am. So I'm going to orbit. I'm keeping the checkpoint. I'll keep checkpoint and then I'll solo this on Titan. And then I can move on to Grandmaster Delve at some point. Hope you enjoy. Thank you.